doing?
What's going on? Doing all right?
How are you?
Good.
What's the Saints defense look like?
Yeah, they got some better leadership for sure. They're good on the edges. They set the edge well, and basically on the rundowns, and they're young in the secondary, but they're good. They're athletic. They play the ball really well. I think they're leading the league in PBUs or something like that. And they forced 5 turnovers last week, so they're great at punching at the ball. And like I said, they got some veterans up front, some guys up front that have played a long time, and Davis in the middle is. I heard one of the greatest, dudes and one of the greatest leaders in the NFL. So we got our hands full, and they got a good defensive coordinator who does some good stuff. And I think it's a challenge. It's a challenge going down there. I know New Orleans can get loud, and I know they're coming off a big win. So it's a challenge to anytime going on the road and playing an opponent that is top, whatever they are in turnovers and playing the ball in the air. So you got to be ready for them.
How important is it for you collectively, and even on offense, to kind of keep the momentum going after in wake of Buffalo?
Yeah, it's huge. I think that one's in the past. Keep going. You got to get back at it this week. I think it's huge. It starts with just positive plays. Keep going, get the first down, and just stay ahead of the chains. I think we've done a good job when we stay ahead of the chains and scoring touchdowns and. The emphasis of scoring touchdowns in the red zone. I think we came up short a little bit last week, so that's kind of a big thing coming in. Practice on Friday, and then from there get on it tomorrow for third down, and just continue to watch them. And it's a different opponent. We don't see them much. NFC team. So just kind of try to get to know them and know that they're at home. They're going to want to play hard and force turnovers.
When you have a good game, do you believe in momentum? Or are you more to wipe the slate clean?
Yeah, I think it's something you can build off for sure. I think the guys, obviously it builds confidence. I think that's what Coach always preaches, kind of getting wins. The win column builds confidence, but you got to flush it and keep going and worry about, it's any given week in this league. You learn that really fast. So, everybody's got good players and good scheme, and the more you play, the more they get tape on you. So, pick up habits and tendencies.
Obviously, that being such a big win for you guys and it being a national TV game, I'm wondering, have you heard from people that you didn't expect to hear from playing the way you did the other night? And has that in any way made it hard to move on, even though you guys need to?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think you get some texts from people around the league, but I think it's more about getting back at it. I think you can remember one game and whatever week that was, week 5, and it doesn't mean anything unless you keep building on it and make it kind of a ongoing thing. So that's the big thing.
How do you explain your connection with Steph, given he couldn't participate much in the spring? Obviously, he wasn't here last year because it's produced to a really high level the last 2 weeks. How did that come together so quickly?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just he's a receiver that's easy to throw to. I think he's easy. He's got great hands. He catches different ways with his body. He turns with the football and makes people miss very easily. It's very natural. You can just tell he's played receiver a long time and played at a high level. So just trying to put it in his vicinity, and he always says, I got you. So. Just trust that, and I think it'll just continue to build and try to give him in the end zone.
Drake, I just want to follow up kind of on what Phil was saying before. So you get these texts from other people around the league. Expectations have definitely raised for this team. I mean, league-wide, people are talking about the Patriots now. Is it fair to hold yourself to a different standard now, or is this kind of where you've been and you're just going about it?
I wouldn't say it's a different standard. It's just something we're trying to work towards. Building the standard for us as a team. Making it hard at home to beat us at home and making a tough team that we're bringing on the road. I think that's what we're trying to build our identity, and I wouldn't say the standard's changing. We're just trying to keep building it and keep showing ourselves and showing people around the league.
You mentioned all the takeaways the Saints had last week, and it seems like you've done a much better job this season of avoiding turnovers. What have been the steps towards avoiding those plays so far this season?
Yeah. Sure, I think it's first off, the guys up front are playing their butts off. They're protecting me great, and I joke with them all the time. I think the sacks I've taken have been all basically on me. So they got beat a few times, but they've done a great job and playing hard. And also comes with the scheme. We're chipping on the edge, and we're getting the ball out fast. And the guys have really took home inside out and protection, and it's keep on playing every week. Playing hard, and I think they want to continue running the football, and I think that only help. Kind of the limit turnovers, more down the road is being able to run the football and stay ahead of the chains.
How does it change your process when you're going against a zone defense that likes to play more spot drop versus ones that like to kind of do more pattern match?
Yeah, I think the Saints do a good job of matching. They're going to play some zone and then play some two deep, and when they go to post safety, you know, they're match our routes, and they're good at playing the football. And I think it changes, you know, more receiver mentality. You know, kind of instead of depth and spacing, kind of, you know, winning versus you know, match coverage, winning versus man, and you know, winning your one-on-ones is what it comes down to. And it comes down for me, ball placement and get out on time, and you know, making sure the football's in the right spot for them to catch and run, or catch and make a play. So that's the kind of the biggest thing. But you know, they got some young DBs out there, and you know, they're fast and they make great plays on the ball. So I played a few of them in college.
In Buffalo, in the play, second quarter, you found the trade for like very short game, but in the same quarter, later in the same quarter, same play, you found Huntley for a 22-yard game.
Yeah.
So what does that play, what does the sequence mean to you, and how what can we say about you guys from offensive?
Yeah, just taking you know, in-game coaching, in-game looking at the tablet. You know, I feel like I look at it and try to get a good grasp of it. You know, I felt like I had the crosser right when I threw the check down to Travion. I really thought to myself, man, I may have had it behind him. Just trying to, you know, play off of just tendencies in the game, and you know, I think we got the same coverage on that play. So just trying to learn from it and know you know, Hunter made a great play. You know, what a catch he made over the middle, and like I said, just learning from, you know, previous plays, and a lot of times, you know, they show up again.
Have you had an offense coordinator who's so willing to repeat play calls within the game, and how does that help you in terms of being able to learn and grow throughout that?
Yeah, I think it's really big in college. You know, teams, you know, repeat plays all the time. I think in NFL, yeah, like I said, it's not as common, but I love repeating plays and running the same stuff. I think you get a good grasp, and sometimes you get the same coverage, sometimes you get different, and that's really what practice is for. I think it's a little bit of a simulation of practice. You repeat the same plays and get different looks, and you know, try to be successful. So yeah, it's good, and like I said, you know, plays that you like, especially you like repeating them.
Drake, any connection with Rattler?
Yeah, I got to know Spence, you know, a little bit throughout the draft process. Obviously, same class. I got to know him one other time. Where is it? Maybe the Manning camp. I'm not sure what it was, but yeah, you know, great dude. You know, played him at South Carolina. Shoot, what am I thinking? I played him at South Carolina, the home opener. I was in Charlotte. You know, my last year of college, our last year. So yeah, big fan. You know, I was playing some good football, and I like the way he throws it. So yeah, big fan of Spencer.
Drake, you mentioned the tablet after the game too, that you're watching it instead of looking at the kick. Just the run game stuff. I was just curious, like, how do you feel like that's coming along in terms of making checks and stuff like that?
Yeah, shoot, you know, trying to get us into good looks. I think we're close in the run game. We got some ones that are close to popping, and those guys are it's a big emphasis, you know, every week to try to run the football, and those guys are doing a great job. I think just finish blocks a little longer. You know, the backs are you know, running good, so just finish blocks a little longer, and those guys are, you know, doing a great job. But you know, I think some run game, some big runs is kind of what we've kind of been missing a little bit, just for the, you know, being real explosive. And I think those are coming in the near future.
Has Will shared anything about the Superdome? Haven't been there plenty of times, or?
Yeah, you know, I talked to you know, Will. It's basically a home game for him, so it'd be pretty cool. No, yeah, I went down there last year for Super Bowl, so I saw it a little bit. But I think you know, Will playing in New Orleans, I think he's I'm not sure if he's ever played in there, but obviously he grew up around there, and says it gets loud, and they say it's different. I think the sideline's a lot bigger, and the fans are a little farther from us, but I think they hold, you know, noise pretty well. So looking forward to playing down there. I heard it's a, you know, really cool spot. So thank you guys.